All right, this is a big day for us because Kelly and I are officially in the circle. One of us here doesn't belong in the circle. Probably the dude.
You.
Yeah, I've been in circles I don't belong in the past, but we're so excited to have both of you to talk Success Circle, to talk Mohawk Valley, to talk leadership, empowerment, girl power, which I love. You tell us, what is Success Circle?
Well, Success Circle is a membership community for women solopreneurs right here in the Mohawk Valley. And that is something that we were staying very much true to because there are organizations, masterminds, coaches all over the world. When I first hired a coach, she was in Wisconsin. The first mastermind group I joined, it was out of Arizona, and it was an international one. But here, this is where our roots are, and we are very tied to the Mohawk Valley. And we want to see the women here who are running businesses, who are struggling, get the support that they need so they can thrive, which then has a ripple effect into their clients, their customers, their family, and then ultimately our community right here in the Mohawk Valley.
I feel like you've given that answer before. That was very well done.
Well, it's my passion. I feel very passionate about it.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about niching down, right? We always cast this wide net to start. We want to be all things to all people all the time and change the world, and all that's great. But to make a true impact, you really have to find your niche. And you guys have done it. So what brought you together?
I need Christine to talk about this one because she was the seed planter. She was the spark that started this partnership.
Thank you, Tricia. I really follow and trust my intuition. And Tricia and I had met at a Mohawk Valley Business Women's Network networking event. And then we saw each other a few times after that at different events. And I really had a good idea that this woman was, somebody that I wanted to get to know more and really learn from. And we still are. We're both coaches. I'm a money coach. She's a leadership coach, working out of our home offices. And I just approached her one day and I said, what do you think about combining our resources, finding an office space? We'll get to see each other in the morning when we get there. Maybe, lunchtime, grab lunch together at the end of the day. Good night. Have a great, evening with your family or friends, whatever you're doing. And then, start the day over again and still work with our clients. Once we started searching for space, that's really where the seed was planted for Success Circle, because we realized that there are so many solopreneurs doing it on their own, riding that roller coaster, juggling every ball, wearing every hat, and we really realized in that moment that it's not just about us, it's about the bigger picture and how can we support these women in our community.
That's so awesome because as women, I feel like we need support, and we are okay with that. And I don't mean to, say that men are, I'm not. What's the word that I'm looking for?
I need a lot of support, just for the record.
But you are very in touch with your feminine side and always have been. But I feel like sometimes men are too proud to admit that they need support or they can't do it on their own. Whereas women, I feel like we need that from each other, which is huge. And one thing that I love that you guys put in quotes is collaboration over competition is the heart of your mission. And it's so important because women sometimes can be catty or jealous and that's not at all what you guys are putting out there. So kudos to you for that. How many members do you have right now?
So we have a couple of different ways that we can get together, and our Accelerator membership just started 4 or 5 months ago, and we have 3 members, a core group of members. Our community extends beyond 200.
That's awesome.
And that means women that come to coffee, women that come to our workshops, women that support us in different ways. So we've got quite a big circle. And I just want to add that what really lights us both up is that when we come together, women feel safe. Women feel safe being vulnerable, asking for support. Tears flow sometime, and that's absolutely fine, right? That helps release. We get to know each other on a really, really deep level. And I would say that's one of our gifts that we have when we create this space for women.
For sure, because there are so many podcasts out there right now that, of course, I listen to, self-help, business, all that other stuff, but you don't get to connect with them personally. You listen to the podcast, you go, oh, this sounds great, but then there's no follow up to that, or can I chat with this person? So that's awesome. It's definitely unique and amazing.
Can I make a shout out for the men, though? So I am a leadership coach, and I do work with a lot of men, and I have a network of a lot of men. More and more are saying, why isn't there something like this for men? So shout out to the men.
I've been close to your circle, not in it, for a while now. And admittedly, a little jealous. I left that off the questions, right? Because I get the mission. I respect the mission, but I'm like, I want to be in the circle. So yeah, I get it. But let's talk about that. Like, logistically, there's BNI, right? My frustration with BNI is it's one person per industry, kind of exclusive, which I get. There's power to that. There's the chamber, which I have thoughts on, but we all know what the chamber is. What's the criteria for a success circle? Is there a criteria for a success circle, or is it open to anyone? Are there dues?
So it's open to any woman in the Mohawk Valley,
Okay.
right? So especially when Tricia was talking about our coffee connections and then our workshops, you do not have to be a business owner to attend those events. That is truly a space for, as a woman, come learn professionally, personally, connect with people, learn how to grow your community, the people who can support you. As far as the dues for our Accelerator membership, yes, there absolutely is, and that's $3.99 a month.
Cool.
And this might even be something that even women that are questioning whether they want to start their own business, to know that they have this support system may give them the boost that they need to go ahead and take that step. So that's great.
Absolutely. And actually last night we had a couple women at our workshop that said, I want to do this. Where do I start?
That's awesome.
So, right? We could be the catalyst for that.
Yep.
Oh, you 100% will be. Yeah.
We want to be the sandbox, if you will, right? Like, we want them to know that this is a safe space. This is a place where they could really explore what they're thinking, what they're feeling, not be judged, not be criticized, not feel like, oh, that idea is going to be stolen from me. Who's going to, take that idea and run with it?
So my passion is with school, like high school kids, and just helping them form the right mindsets, right? And just, schools are great at teaching kids what to think, right? But not necessarily how to think.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that when you get out into the real world, you have to be adaptable. You have to be comfortable with failure. There's just a lot to it. And a big thing is it's who, not how, right? And you have to be connected, and you have to sit at the right table and be in the right circle. But that's hard for kids, right? Like they don't know where to start or who to start with. So that's a big, long lead up to, are you working at all with that age group now, or are there plans to do that in the future to kind of let them in to start networking with a group of powerhouse women locally? Because, the follow-up to that is we want to keep these kids here, and your focus is in the Mohawk Valley.
At this point, we don't have anything particularly for the high school student. We do work a little bit with college students, inviting them into our coffee. So I can absolutely see how we'll continue to expand into that high school region. But I love that idea of really getting them as their brain is still forming.
And part of our vision is having a foundation one day where we are giving away scholarships to high school students who want to become an entrepreneur and not go the traditional route of going to college.
Yeah. Well, hit me up when you're ready for that.
Sold. Will do.
So let's talk about Coffee Connections. When is it? What can you expect if you're attending it for the first time?
So Coffee Connections is the fourth Friday of every month. We've expanded it from 9 to 10. We've expanded it to 8:30 to 10 because we have so many women that join us. And we want to give a huge shout out to ARC of Oneida Lewis, who has opened their doors and has allowed us to call their office our home. So that's where we have all of our events, including Coffee Connections. So 8:30 to 10, fourth Friday of every month. The next one is on June 27th, and all women are welcome. You're going to come in, you're going to get to know each other, you're going to network a little bit, and then we give each member an opportunity to share a little bit about themselves and promote anything they want to promote, ask for any support. Really open, but we want all voices heard. We want all women to feel safe to speak their truth.
So typically, how many women attend?
Well, there hasn't been a typical. We started with
A
5,
handful.
and now we're up to, I believe there was 35 last
Wow.
time.
awesome.
Yes,
That's awesome.
We're growing. We're
Yeah,
growing.
that's great.
And going back to like, why aren't we including men? What we have found is that women feel inhibited, some of them, not all of them, can feel inhibited when you're going to, for example, nothing bad about it, but a chamber event, a business after hours. You walk in there and it's like you're hit with, what am I doing here? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? And it can be very overwhelming. And then it really starts messing with your confidence. Like, do I even belong in this room? What do I say when somebody asks me what I do? So what we have created with everything that we do, it really is that safe place. And we don't force you to talk or introduce yourself or anything like that, but we give you the platform to do it. And, you know, it fires us up and lights us up when someone will say, I did not know I would get up and share about myself or my business. I can't believe I did that today. And we love that. That's what we want to foster, empowering women to truly tap into their God-given talents. So we go back to that ripple effect.
That's huge that you said that, because like if the expectation is I need to go and be prepared to say, you know, why I'm there, what my company is, or that puts a lot of pressure on the person that if they just want to go and take it in
Absolutely.
for the first couple of times, that's acceptable.
Yep, absolutely.
We celebrate the messy. We love celebrating the messy. Every single one of us has imposter syndrome. And if somebody says they don't, they're lying. But we put it out on the table. Every single one of us has things we don't think we're good enough for, we don't think we're capable for. So that is the vibe that believe allows people to feel heard and feel seen.
I love it.
You can't come. I might go next month.
You should go.
I hope so.
Yeah. Christine's been silently nudging you.
I did. I saw her in First
know,
Source
I
like
know.
last month.
Yep,
I know.
yep.
I hate networking events, right? I'm just going to put it out there. No one believes me when I say this. I'm a social introvert. Like, put me in a room where I know people, totally comfortable, and I can light it up, especially with a drink or two. But these forced like chamber mixers, and you brought up the male, and you know there's alphas in every room, right? And you know when you're not the alpha, and everyone that group, and this goes, it probably stems to like childhood, back to elementary school, where the cool kids, if you will, you know, we're together, and like if you're not in that group where you're always there and you know everyone, and it's super intimidating. And imposter syndrome is real, and so what you guys are doing is so cool. And I guess we'll finish this thought with, is there anything you do special to, it's a networking event, but to make it feel not like any icebreakers or fun activities or different things?
The talking stick.
That's important because as women, we all overtalk each other. And
True. We use a talking stick, and it is it's a symbol of Native American culture where the group gives reverence to the one holding the talking stick. So we use our talking stick.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk. You're both coaches with different specialties. You talked about that a little bit. Leadership and financial clarity are so much intertwined. So how can you say that you support women? Like, do they meet with you at separate times? What does that look like?
So, great question. When we're talking about our Accelerator membership, that is a weekly meeting every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Scott was gracious enough to come in and be a guest speaker for that. So we've brought in guest speakers. We read books. 1 week a month of that is a CFO money class, if you will. And then 1 week is always a CEO mindset, how to be that strategic leader of your business.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So we really find that our two expertise blend together so well. So you're not just teaching somebody how to run a profitable business, you're teaching them how to run a profitable business that aligns with their values and their purpose. Because it's so easy to get off track with that. You just start shooting from the hip. You start thinking, oh, I made a little bit of money over here. Let me keep doing that, even though that's not really what I want to be doing, but because it's generating revenue, and then you get so far from the path that you originally wanted to be on. And pivoting is okay, changing product offerings, like all of that is okay. But if you're doing it from shooting from the hip versus being strategic, like a CEO would be strategic, then you're going to end up running a business that you're not connected to.
I pause because I'm trying to narrow my focus here because there's so much I could say. Everybody needs a coach, period. Right? I mean, if you're serious about taking your business, your life to the next level, there's all different types of coaches. But, you know, when you're in a bottle, you can't read the label. And there's things that you two can see about the women in your group that they can't see about themselves. And you're able to point that out. You know, so I would just, at $3.99 a month, everyone's got different thoughts around money. And I don't, you know, it's peanuts, honestly. I was reading through on the website, and make sure you guys go to the website, and we'll plug it in the show notes. But all the different offerings that they're getting, and getting it from two professionals who have done it, and they've done it here locally, and putting them in a network with you. You've got just about every powerhouse woman that you can think of. You're a couple hundred members, like they're in there, right? And you get a seat at that table, and you start to make those connections and start to uncover different opportunities. So I would highly encourage everybody listening who qualifies to look into this, because at $3.99 a month, and you do cap it at 10.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome as well, right? So you got one-on-one focus, because I've been in coaching groups where you're one of a couple hundred, right?
Very
and you
different.
can submit a form, and they'll get back to you, and you get a little bit of time. But you know, you guys are in the trenches, you know. So I would highly encourage everyone to look at the
Thank you,
Accelerator
Scott.
program. Well, I mean that.
Well, so, okay, let's talk about the Summer Connection series as well, because there might be some women that coffee during that time frame doesn't work for them. You guys also do workshops. Your first one was June 10th. You want to talk about the upcoming ones and what the women can expect from those?
Sure. So our Summer Connection series is an opportunity to learn a little bit about how to clarify what you need support with, and to ask in a way that will get you results. So we spend a little bit of time giving the group tips and tricks, but a lot of it is workshopping, practicing, pairing up, so they could practice their ask. They could think about who they would like maybe an introduction to, or what resource they want. But then you have a group of women there which will help you. The connections that we made last night, there was 12 women. And the connections that we made last night, who's going to help who get an introduction, who's going to start collaborating, was so powerful. It's not even fair that we get to do this.
It's so fun. It really is.
Strategic on your part. I like
so
it.
Fun.
It's
so
so
fun.
fun.
It really is.
Yes.
You know, last night, just because this is an example that you don't have to be in business to relate to this example, but one woman said that she has a lot of stress from a situation that is outside of her control. And her ask was, how can I decompress from the stress? And the ideas that came from last night, you know, one woman was like, just go lean up against a tree. Trees are so grounding. Let that tree absorb your energy and that anxiety and the stress that you're feeling. Other people offered breath work or listening to music or journaling, right? So here this woman was, every day is in the stressful situation that is outside of her control, and she leaves it and ruminates over it, and it spills into her family life and her evening and all of that type of situation. And now within 30 seconds, 45 seconds, all these ideas are coming at her that she couldn't even see or think about on her own.
Yep.
And that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And just a couple of other things that really stood out to me as well. One of our philosophies at Success Circle is action forward, but baby steps. We don't do things sometimes because they're so big. So a couple of our participants last night, they simply made a commitment to have one conversation to help them clarify their vision, who they're looking to connect with. That's it. It's just one phone call, one invitation. It's a baby step.
Speaking my language, Tricia, right? I think that the two biggest mistakes we make with personal and professional development, A, is we think too big. And I know this is counterintuitive to a lot of the stuff we heard. The whole idea of long-term goals is overwhelming. It's daunting. It's frustrating because you never freaking get there, right? And the type A's, even if we get close, we just keep moving it. And then you become overwhelmed and stressed and you need to decompress, right? So really looking at, hey, today is, as we record this, Wednesday, June 12th, something like that. 11th?
I think so.
It's the 11th. Okay, yeah. So what can I control today, right? By the time 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whenever your day is going to end, I can look back and be like, hey, I won my day, right?
Yeah.
I did that thing, that conversation. And then the second part is they don't start. Sometimes people take years to do the thing that takes 5 minutes, but they don't have the courage or the confidence. And being a part of a group like yours, you're going to bump into someone who's going to give a nudge, that's going to say, hey, try this, do this, take the stick, say something.
Yep.
Right. And that could be that one moment where they just start.
Yep.
So I think that's great advice to shrink it to just the baby steps.
Yes, and I'm going to ask Christine to talk about our ritual of the weekly one.
Yeah, so within our membership, we end every meeting with our members setting up a weekly one. And it's the same action forward philosophy. What is one baby step you're going to take? And it doesn't always have to be a business, right? Like we see the woman holistically. Our lives, I give credit to Tricia for this word integration. You know, people are trying to strive for balance, but it's really how do we integrate our lives? Personal, professional, the volunteer work that we do, how we show up with our family, our friends, how do we integrate all of that? So we do the same thing with our members, and we ask them each week to set a weekly one. And then when we come back the following week, not only do we talk about that, but we talk about a weekly win. What is something that went so well in your life that you want to shout it from the rooftops, pat yourself on the back, really just boast that this thing went really well. And again, it could be something really small. But we want them to foster that confidence within themselves that they can make great decisions, they can take action, they can get results, they can see success. And it's probably looks and feels different than what they have defined in their minds.
So the Summer Connection series, it happens at Nostro's, right? Did we mention that or no?
Actually, we had to pivot due to a situation beyond our control, and it's at the ARC. It's at Chef's Express.
Oh, okay. Okay. And cost?
$20.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And you register?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. If you go on our website, there'll be a link to register. That's limited as well because we really are creating these intimate environments for people to share and support each other.
Awesome.
I'm going to make a weird pivot. So we talked about the weekly one and the weekly win, which I love, right? Momentum is the most powerful force in the universe, right? So when you start building these wins and you get that momentum, you just feel better and better and more empowered and encouraged. Accountability is another piece to that because, you know, it's like the gym is the most common, right? If I say I'm going to go to the gym at 5 a.m. tomorrow, there's about a 50-50 shot that I'll make it. But if Christine says, let's meet at the gym at 5 a.m., I'm like, Christine's going to be there. I got to get up and get my butt there, right? And so you're holding people accountable to what they say is important to them. I just talked about how long-term goals are not good. And I'm going to ask you, what is the long-term vision for Success Circle?
Well, it's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up again because I might be quoting wrong, but I believe it was Michael Hyatt who runs the Full Focus companies. He says that statistics show we underestimate our long-term goals and overestimate our short-term goals. And that was powerful for me to hear. So our long-term vision for Success Circle, I'm going to go really, really long. We're hoping to impact 1 million women throughout the world. And we're working to build a great system and a great process. And we'd like to franchise this someday. We'd like to take what we're doing right here in the Mohawk Valley and teach other people to do it throughout the world. And maybe there'll be a men's Success Circle, Scott.
It's funny because when we started this mission with Love Living Local 315, the reason we put 315 after it is because our hope is after modeling what it means to connect with people in your community and support small business and support people doing good things, that there would be other people in other zip codes that would want to do the same. So that definitely resonates
It's
a
this
lot with us.
grassroots effort that really can gain a lot of traction. And I admire that that's what you want to do with the podcast because that's what we see also with Success Circle.
So let's talk about July 17th, right? Talking about momentum and things growing. You guys are part of an event at SUNY Poly.
Yes. So this is an amazing collaboration among the SUNY Poly Women of Impact organization, Experience Leadership, who ran the first Women's Summit in March, and Success Circle. And on July 17th at SUNY Poly, we're offering a time management and prioritization workshop. And Success Circle, Christine and I are leading that workshop with the support of the SUNY Poly Women of Impact and Experience Leadership. So for those that did go to the summit in March, everyone was asking what's next. This is next. Come to this event.
And if you didn't get to go to the summit because it sold out in 6 days, then come to this event and get to experience a little bit about the magic that happened that day.
That's awesome.
I'm guessing you made this connection organically. Right.
Integration, Scott, because I'm actually co-chairing the Women of Impact for SUNY Poly. I'm a SUNY Poly alum.
Yep.
Experience leadership, again, the women that run that come to the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then Success Circle. So
Awesome.
I'm all about the integration.
And this is the collaboration piece that Kelly mentioned in the beginning, right? We're about collaboration over competition. So bringing all of these groups together for the betterment of the women in the Mohawk Valley, that's what we're trying to achieve.
That's the mission.
So for women that are listening right now and they sort of connect with this, what would be one piece of advice you give a woman listening right now who's feeling burnt out and believes her business can't succeed?
Come to coffee. Come surround yourself with women who feel the exact same way, because that was me a few years ago. I did not know if I was going to continue my business or not. And I met Tricia, and not only did I continue my business, but now I have a second business because I believed in the possibility of what can happen when you partner with like-minded people.
You're not the only one. That's a huge, because we sometimes believe that we're the only ones that are going through this and it's just us.
Yep.
And there's an issue. So that's huge.
Just coming and getting the validation that we're not the only one, that alone starts shifting the burnout and the mindset. Women walk away just feeling like, wow, it's not just me.
And as women, we go through different seasons in our life. And I'm experiencing it right now. Like, you know, I was in my teaching season and raising children, and now my children are older. And, you know, I've left the teaching profession to help support Scott and do other things that are important to me personally. So women definitely go through different seasons in life. So to have a network of women that you can talk to about the season of life you are in.
Absolutely.
It's not just that one.
We meet the women where they're at. We are not trying to mold them to become something.
That's huge.
Right. I agree.
Which is a little different than other programs where they come in and they're built to look like this. No, we are all unique.
Well, that's a one-size-fits-all model, and that doesn't work.
Yes, and the work that Christine and I do, both in money and leadership, it's really about finding your own truth, right? And once you can connect to your own truth, decisions get easier. You feel less burned out. You feel more confident.
The one size fits all thing is so important, right? Because there's so many programs we talked about. There's national programs that are easy to find because they spend a lot of money on SEO and marketing, and they know your algorithm and they can speak to your pain points, and they lure you in. And then it's this plug and play, and you know,
workbooks and all this other.
And so often you're trying to put square pegs in round holes, and you know, you mentioned the word like-minded. And everyone in the group doesn't have to be like-minded, but you're going to find some people in there, your tribe, right, who are. And you know, the local mission, I can't stress enough, because every area has its own DNA. Every area is different, and this place is no different, right? Like we have that. But I can go on about what's special about here, but we all know it. But being able to find like-minded people, your people, in the area, and a program that will kind of adapt to you when you're keeping it small, and that Accelerator program is amazing. So how do people connect? What's the best way to find more information about Success Circle?
Perfect question. So we have our website, successcircle.biz, and that's BIZ. Follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Attend our events. Come to Coffee Connections, 4th Friday of every month. We host monthly workshops. Those are on our website. And if you are that solopreneur looking to elevate your business, join the Accelerator membership. But if you aren't these people, but you know somebody, right? You're a guy just like Scott. send this information, share this episode with the women in your life, your wife, your mother, your sister, your cousin, your friend, whoever that may be, because they may not have told you they're struggling, but they could be on the inside, just like what Kelly was saying a little bit ago. So just share this episode with any woman in your life.
Happy wife, happy life. Scott says that all the time.
So far, so good. You talked about intuition, and one thing I'll say publicly is the older I get, I think the older we all get, our BS meters get a little bit higher, right? And the intuition is a little bit stronger. And you two are the most sincere, genuine, you're likable. You can tell you're doing it for the right reasons. Like there's no self-serving. You're smart enough to realize there are self-serving benefits to this, right? But that's not why you're doing it. And so I would just encourage everyone to connect with you, because I'm confident they'll feel the same, that authenticity.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was a fast 30, 35 minutes, but we aren't letting you off without the rapid fire
I was waiting
questions.
for this.
Yeah. But I don't know where I did this late last night, so we'll see. Go ahead.
Okay. One word to describe your partnership.
Tricia is my biz bestie. More than one word, but she is my biz bestie.
Real.
Like it. A mistake that became a great lesson for each of you.
All of them.
That's a very real answer.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, this is what's coming to mind right now. The mistake of letting my limiting beliefs and the negative self-talk, that mindset really take over and take control at times when it doesn't serve me. So I try to talk to myself like I would talk to a friend, Tricia, anybody, and just turn that back onto myself.
I'm going to pause there because that's such rich advice. We all do this, right? We all have the negative self-talk, and that you threw it in there quickly, but that is a huge exercise for people to, hey, here's a situation. Your very best friend or business partner is going through this. How would you coach, counsel, advise them, right? And the way you respond to that is so much different than the way, hey, that situation is yours, right?
Yeah,
so now talk to yourself that way.
Right.
So awesome answer.
Okay. Morning person or night owl, each of you?
Morning.
You are besties. Favorite local Mohawk Valley spot for a business meeting? I feel like you've kind of
Chef's Express.
You've already answered that. That was pre-written. So
Okay.
And if not Chef's Express, Copper City Brewing in Rome.
We haven't been there.
We have not been there. It's too funny. We're actually going to we highlight them a ton on our buzz, on our weekly, what's going on. And we have not been to Copper City.
Let's have a business meeting there.
Yeah, we finally got out to Crust.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
That was on
That
our
was
list
great.
for a while.
Great spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
You have a plug, or are you just going to stick with?
I'm going to stick with Chef's
Okay, fair
Express.
enough.
We have coffee and we have beer.
There you go.
I mean, what else do you need?
Scott will always say coffee is a morning drink.
Yes.
When we go to dinner.
When we go to dinner, people will offer us coffee after dinner. He's like, nope, that's a morning
That's
drink.
a morning drink. Well, yeah, and we talked a lot about Coffee Club. Christine doesn't drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee. I don't drink beer. I'm a tea person.
Okay. That's okay.
Yep.
We like tea people.
Yep.
All right.
And you're still besties. It all
Yes.
works out. Yeah.
Fill in the blank. Success is blank.
I think what's coming to me is just living out your God-given talent. It doesn't have to be, I make this much money, I've touched this many lives. It's God has all given us talents, whether you see it as, universe, God, spirit, just something that you're innately good at. If you're living that out, that's success to me.
I'm going to say it in a different way. Just success is being who you are meant to be. Same thing, different way of saying it.
I'll butcher this, but Rory Vaden said that success is exploiting your God-given talents in the service of others. I'll listen back.
It sounds good.
I'll listen back and fact check
it sounds
that,
good to
but
me.
You get the idea.
Yep.
I
It's
love
all
it.
tracking.
One thing you wish every woman entrepreneur knew.
Everything is a matter of timing. That is something my mother has told me my entire life, and I was always that person that couldn't wait for the next thing. When I was in college, I couldn't wait to graduate, get a real job, get an apartment, live on my own. Couldn't wait to get married. Couldn't wait to start a family. Couldn't wait. And when you do that, you're not living in the moment. You're not being present. You're not enjoying the journey the way that you can be. And in doing so, you're also missing other opportunities because you're so focused on the future. So enjoying the present, living in the moment, everything is a matter of timing. Like that all goes together for me, and something that took me a long time to learn, but that I'm truly living out today.
Awesome.
My advice is the same advice I give myself every day. Stop comparing yourself to others. I try to take that advice every day. I'm still working on it.
And it's too funny at church. I'll say this: my priest, I went alone that day, or you would definitely speak to this. And he got up there and he said, "The only thing you can control is the today. You can't control what happened yesterday, and whether you want to accept it or not, you can't control what's going to happen tomorrow. All you can do is control the actions that you are going to take today in the situation you're in right now." So that's,
I love that.
yep.
Meditation.
I got to
keep
work
trying
on it.
years. Me and the cat. I can't get her in the meditation room. My cat meditates with me in the morning. She's very grounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she will get mad on Sundays if he doesn't get up.
We talk about be where your feet are. She's got 4 of them, so she's more present than me.
Yeah.
But
too
no,
funny.
it's
That's
so
cute.
true. The meditation will help those listening, and you can do it guided. There's so many different apps and ways to do it, where it's guided now. But just being present and understanding that meditation is not, oh, I had a thought, I lose. It's, I had a thought, let me recognize it, move it over here, and get back to the present, which is super helpful.
I love that you're sharing that because there's a huge misconception of meditation. Big meditator myself, regular. When I don't do it, I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's about
I know.
sweeping away. Just sweep away the thoughts. Sweep them away.
My favorite meditation is a walking meditation. So there's no earbuds, there's no phone, and I listen to the birds, the leaves, the wind, and then I use my peripheral vision when my thoughts start to focus too much and I get too hyper-focused on whatever is going on in my mind. And that peripheral vision allows you to clear those thoughts out of your head and reground yourself.
That's awesome. Okay, last question. What's next for Success Circle that has you most excited?
Everything.
Everything. And because we just started calling ARC our home, I'm excited to see what that will bring. They really are so beautifully hospitable with us, and we've only begun that relationship. So we're really excited to see how we can, I would say, collaborate, right? Like what an opportunity for them to bring women into their organization, for people to learn more about them.
Awesome. Well, Tricia, Sticca, Christine Spiak, Success Circle, doing amazing things. We're so grateful to have you in our circle today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.